where the environment is never level at any one particular time. So you'll find that many young people who basically are interested in getting into business, which is something good for the industry, for the country, we have a couple of challenges. And the challenges they have basically include things like capital. And sometimes even just the vision they have. Some people can be very excited about a product or a service that you'll be able to get into, but the challenge will always be, have you formed your mind in terms of the vision of the business that you like to do? Do you understand the market, where you're going to sell and who you're going to sell to? Because many times we look at the product only and we don't look at the end result in terms of how you're going to sell it. So the millennials have a challenge of capacity in terms of how do you start a business and what kind of business plan do you need, where do you look for capital, and what kind of support do you need in terms of business planning? So I think there's a great opportunity for young people to get into business, and especially so in this country. The economy is opening up and quite a number of opportunities opening up, and we think we need to encourage them to be able to get into business. But I think we need environments that can be able to create good entrepreneurs as businesses, yes.
And Fred, you interact a lot with the SMEs and the business people. What are some of the areas that majority are tilting towards? Is it technology? Is it opening up shops? What is defining the new trend in the industry?
Ideally, we do a lot of from pensions and kind of financial services we provide. We interact a lot with the young people, and we are currently running an institute of pension management, basically on training, and we're doing a lot of career planning for young people at the university. And one of the things when we interact with them a lot, they are going more into technology. Yeah, which is a good thing. I mean, there is a lot of space in technology in terms of application development and in terms of provision of services around the technology areas. So I think and the other area is more young people are getting interested in agriculture, interestingly. You will see more people wanting to invest in agriculture. The only challenge is they don't want to touch soil. But they would like to invest in agriculture. So they will want to fund somebody who can be able to farm and then be able to give them a return, but not necessarily going into the farm to be able to do farming.
Or is it so? Is it that they're not the experts or what?
I think it's just the fact that agriculture service is a dirty business. You must go into the farm and soil yourself.
For people who did not succeed in school.
Oh yes, that's always the thinking, which is not necessarily.
Sure.
And more people are thinking, especially young people, more people are realizing that it's not necessarily for the people who have failed, but I think it is somewhere where you can invest. So they're looking for organizations that will be able to pool funds together and invest in agriculture. And I think that is the trend that I'm seeing more people doing it. And of course, as I mentioned, technology in terms of this. And also, we're seeing more people coming into finance in terms of investment. Like for example, the retirement benefits industry is just about 18 years old. And it's growing very fast, providing more opportunities for people to come in to provide services to the people who are saving in the retirement benefits industry. So we think that those are the areas that basically money is being driven to in terms of capital for investments.
All right, and talking about career planning, majority of the young people from various interactions I have had is that they're very poor at planning and saving for a rainy day. Of course, the pressures of life, the cost of living, there are all sorts of excuses, but in terms of the gaps in the market, companies like Octagon, how are you engaging with various needs of the market so that we have a situation where we have more people saving and they're getting returns as they save?
Yeah, that's an interesting area. It's saving is a culture. It's basically an issue of a culture, not necessarily having enough to save, because you will never have enough to save. I tell people that you start getting a salary of 50,000 Kenya shillings and you don't have enough. You get a salary of 1 million shillings over time and you still don't have enough. So it's basically a culture.
Actually, what really happens?
It's the higher the salary increases, the needs grow, or you want to serve yourself much better.
Right.
You stay.
It's by human nature.
Absolutely human nature.
All right.
you start off staying in Kawangware, for example, and you get a salary of 10,000 Kenyan shillings. When you get a salary of 50, you want to go to Buruburu. If you get a salary of 100,000, you want to go somewhere else. So the thing is that human nature tries to make sure that you are surviving and getting into the level that you want to be, a class that you want to live. Now that then takes away disposable income for you in terms of saving. So what we have been trying to encourage the young people is that when you get to employment, first thing is that you need to start saving quite early. So you create a culture of saving from day one. And that helps you to make sure that as you grow up, you're already forgetting that 10%, you're already forgetting that 15% that you're saving. Rather than when you get in employment and you don't save at all, you start consuming all the money that you have. So in the middle, when you want to save, you don't have enough money.
But Fred, are there enough incentives in the market to enable people to save? Because there's also that other element.
Absolutely. The government has given quite a number of incentives. For example, tax. Today if you earn a salary of 100,000 Kenya shillings and the tax is, for example, 30%, you'll take home 70,000 Kenya shillings. But if you are saving 10,000 shillings into a retirement benefit scheme, your taxable bill becomes 90. So your tax comes down by 3,000 Kenyan shillings. So you save more money if you save in terms of tax saving retirement benefit scheme. But then too also, as pension funds, the market is improved. In terms of investments, the returns are becoming better. You can never get a return anywhere else than compared to what you get from retirement benefit schemes. Our schemes, for example, have been giving returns to the extent of about 17-18% per annum. Now you can't get that return anywhere else. So which means that it gives you a better place where you can be able to put your money in terms of savings. So we think that there is an opportunity for young people to save and put money aside for purpose of retirement. Now we know that the challenge...
You have an order for my arrest.
...done in our business is that we no longer talk...
To engage the executive.
We run 3 programs, and one we run for 25 and below. 25 to 35, which is what we call fast check management, helping members to understand that saving is an important aspect, but also managing.
You killed a young man. A young man you met sleeping with your wife.
It's Fred. Now that we've explored all these opportunities that are in the market, as well as the instruments like what you are doing at Octagon.
Millennials and businesses, very intriguing conversations for sure happening right there. But let's move forward now. The waterfront Karen Mall is set to open for business on Jamhuri Day this year, the 12th of December 2018. Now, during the recently held opening ceremony of the mall, the waterfront Karen director David Muguku said that the anchor tenant, game stores and several other tenants are currently stocking up their shelves, adding that the mall's current occupancy does stand at 63%, with negotiations for occupancy of the remaining space currently at the advanced stage. Now, a man-made lake that sits on a space of 3 acres, complemented by 5 acres of landscaped lakefront, is situated right at the heart of the waterfront Karen.
Yeah.